Alright, so I just found this indicator that's seriously next level. I'm talking about something that actually works, not just some random tool you find online that promises the moon. This thing gives you super precise enter signals and it tells you a ton about what's actually happening in the market. And here's the cool part, it doesn't matter what time frame you're looking at or what you're trading. Seriously. Stocks, crypto, forex, doesn't matter. It just performs. I even figured out this little trick with it that made my trades way more profitable. I actually backtested it on Bitcoin 15-minute chart and the results were kinda mind-blowing. Out of 100 trades, we had 60 winners. That's a 64% win rate, which is awesome, right? So 64 wins and that gives us a whopping 147% profit. Now, a couple of other super important things when you're looking at backtesting are profit factor and max drawdown. Profit factor basically tells you how much profit you made for every dollar you risked. For this strategy, it was 3.56, meaning we made an average of $3.56 for every dollar we risk in those trades. And max drawdown is just the biggest dip your account saw in the worst case scenario while you were trading. For this strategy, it was only 3%. And anything under 5% is really solid. So wanna check this thing out? It's super easy to find. Just head over to the indicators tab on your trading view chart. In the search bar, type in Bollinger Bands breakout strategy. Make sure you grab the right one from the list. And once you click it, boom, it'll pop right on your chart. Alright, let's talk about how this thing actually works. It's based on something called Bollinger Bands, which are classic indicator. Basically, you've got this middle line, which is a 20-period simple moving average. Then there are these upper and lower bands that are 2 standard deviation away from the midline. These bands are super helpful because they show you how much the price is jumping around, like how volatile it is. And they also give you a good idea of the trend, depending on where the price is in relation to those bands. So the indicator actually draws these Bollinger Bands for you with the upper, lower, and the middle line. And here's the cool part. Whenever the price closes above that upper band, it throws out a long signal telling you it might be a good time to buy. And when the price closes below the lower band, it gives you a short signal, meaning it might be a good time to sell. Think of it this way. When those price candles are consistently above the Bollinger Bands, that's usually a sign of that the market has some serious bullish momentum, meaning prices are probably going to keep going up. And when they're below the bands, that's generally a sign of bearish momentum. So prices might be heading down. Now by default, this strategy uses a 55-period simple moving average and 1 standard deviation for its Bollinger Bands filter. But here's a pro tip. For this specific chart, based on my backtesting, I actually like to change the SMA length to 45. The thing is, different assets like different stocks or cryptocurrencies will probably need different values to work best. So it's super important to play around with it and see what settings give you the best results for whatever you're trading. Experimenting is key. And here's my absolute pro tip for you. If you just trade based on this indicator by itself, it can be profitable, but you'll probably see some pretty big drawdowns. And that's a huge problem when you're trading for real. So there are 2 big solutions for this. First, you have to have a solid risk management strategy in place before you even think about placing a trade. If you're not sure what that is or what the best approach is, I just dropped a video all about it. Seriously, click the card above or use the pinned comment below to watch that one as your very next video. But the other trick is to use something called the market bias indicator plus a few simple trading rules. So just head back to the indicator section on TradingView, search for market bias and add it to your chart. It's totally free. What the market bias indicator does is basically tell you the overall vibe of the market. It helps you figure out if everyone's feeling optimistic, that's bullish, pessimistic, that's bearish, or just kinda neutral. Once you add it, you'll see this colored ribbon on your chart. When it's green and the price is above it, that's a strong sign of an uptrend in the market. And when it's red, that means we're in a downtrend. Now, the default settings for the market bias work very well for the Bitcoin 15-minute chart. But let's just disable that HA candle option. So here's the super important rule. I would never enter a trade against the market's trend. If the market bias is green, that means the trend is up, so we only take long signals as valid. If the market bias is red, the trend is down, so we only take short signals as valid. Let me show you a quick trading example right now. See how the market bias is green and the price is above it? That means the trend is up. So we're only looking for long signals. And boom, right here, the price closes above the upper Bollinger Band. That's our long signal. So we'd open a buy trade at the opening price of the very next candle. Then setting your stop loss is absolutely crucial for managing your risk. Again, if you're fuzzy on why that's so important, seriously, go watch that video in the pinned comment. For this strategy, the best stop loss would be just slightly below the midline for a long trade and slightly above it for a short trade. And a great target to aim for is 2R. That means you're aiming for twice the amount you're risking. And check out the very next signal after this one. It's a short signal, but the market is still in an uptrend, right? So we simply and accurately skip this losing signal. This is how you avoid those bad trades. And then the next one, we see another breakout above the upper band, which means another long signal. The trend is still up, so it's a valid signal. The stop loss is slightly below the midline, target 2R, and guess what? That turned into another profitable trade. And that's pretty much it. But seriously, don't forget to check out this recommended video on the screen right now to get all the best risk management techniques down.